You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What's up, guys? Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to join us on Podcast PXN episode 184. How about that Mission Impossible throw in there, Christian? I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I'm joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner at Roro.
How is it going? I'm loving the energy that we're bringing in here today, Dan.
Hell yeah. We're bringing all the energy. We're pulling it out. And we're also going to pull it out of the host of Large Popcorn and video essayist Christian Macias at ISO Christian.
Who's ready for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Oh, Dan is.
This guy is now. Yeah.
Also, who's ready for the Mario movie next week? That is next Wednesday.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so soon.
Technically Tuesday night, if you want to go about it.
I'm excited. I cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys seeing it like that night?
I haven't gotten tickets yet, but if I can get some, I would love to go the day of. Yeah.
Fair.
I'm with Ro. I have to wait to confirm with my friend if he wants to go or not, and then choose a day. I will be having gummies during this movie.
And in contrast to that, I'm seeing it Friday with my nieces and nephew. So
Woo!
it'll be fun.
Nice.
Yes. Gage, of course, is not with us this week, but he will return, of course. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is our gameplay impressions of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We got our first look at some deep dives there, so stay tuned for that. But the show always starts with the quick bites, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Guys, the first item on our quick bites, Everywhere has gotten a new trailer, and you know what? It will be available everywhere this year.
Nice.
On Switch?
Okay, I was being a little facetious. I was just playing words.
So it won't be everywhere.
No, it won't.
Lied.
You're right. It'll be in PC players' hands this year, I guess.
Everywhere around the world.
Everywhere around the
If
world.
it gets a worldwide release. It looks cool.
Yeah. And I think Gage was
I
excited
remember
about
this trailer now.
Yeah.
Isn't this like... Yeah, it says it right here. Previous Rockstar people.
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard that from people who have seen it, apparently it's going to change some things and whatever that means. Apparently it's there's a lot of hype around it for the people that have seen it. But it looks cool.
I remember seeing this pop up on my Twitter earlier, I guess this week, and or I guess it was late last week, I think it was, and being like pretty impressed by the lighting of like that chase section when like that dude is like shooting from the back of the car, and then the driving aspect. That to me looked extremely like next gen, and it almost looks like a little bit of a GTA mod. Yeah. Leslie, previously of Rockstar,
The head.
yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. I know Gage was very excited for this, so little shout out there. No more of a shout out though to the people that were using this little gem of a hack. No more can you do the $1 Game Pass program for new users. Microsoft is cutting down on that. It has stopped its Xbox Game Pass $1 trial offer. It's now evaluating different marketing promotions for new members, and many people are speculating that this may mean Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family is coming to more markets soon. Tom Warren said that from The Verge, so definitely would make sense, I guess.
Would make for a great summer announcement at whatever kind of press conference they have cooking up.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. And you know what else might cook up some stuff for Microsoft? The UK's CMA has provisionally concluded that Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal will not result in a substantial lessening of competition in console gaming services. This is a kind of a very big statement from the CMA, because obviously we haven't seen any support for this acquisition until now. It seems that things have changed quite a bit, I guess, from the behind the scenes stuff and Microsoft giving concessions and everything else. So it will be interesting to see this kind of continue to, get followed up with, I guess. But also the CMA did speak out that they still have concerns surrounding the cloud gaming market, and the investigation remains on course for completion by the end of April. But this seems to indicate that they will approve it, and alas, just leaving the FCC, I guess, is the biggest one that's left for the US. And also kind of just thrown in on the back of this, I thought I'd add this as well, because this kind of goes hand in hand. Apparently, from Stephen Totillo on Twitter, at least 11 members of Congress have pressed the Biden administration to take action over Sony's alleged interference with Microsoft's Xbox efforts in Japan. I obtained 2 letters sent by House representatives, and that the Republican one's a bit spicier, he says. But it is interesting. I looked to see who the senators were that supported it. There was, both on both sides, so it's not like a political thing, but it is interesting because a lot of them are from Washington State, Congress people from Washington State. So it does seem like Microsoft's trying to hit at their local senators to push for this. So and it's almost like it's a reaction to Sony combating them on their acquisition, and now they're like, all right, we're striking back. You want to mess with us? It's very interesting how this is playing out.
What was the accusation you mentioned? Sorry, which country or where was it?
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
No, sorry, I missed part of that because I was pulling up something that related to what you were saying from IGN, and Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. It's so members. There's 11 members of Congress in the U.S. that have pressed the Biden administration to take action over Sony's alleged interference with Microsoft's Xbox efforts in Japan. So,
okay. So we were pulling up the same article. Okay. Perfect. Okay. You beat me to it. I should have just followed the document you have laid out here.
Oh, you're good. But it is interesting. They point out that PlayStation has 98% of the high-end console market in Japan, which I don't know how accurate that number is, especially with Nintendo, but I don't know if they consider Nintendo or if it's they're just comparing the two. But yeah, it's very fascinating to see this play out, because Sony was on the offensive to stop the acquisition, and now Microsoft's on the offensive to try to push them back in their own home turf, essentially.
It's too much. Yeah. Again, come get me in 2 to 3 months when this is all over.
That's fair.
I don't have to think about this anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually thought of you when I was putting this in there. I'm like, Christian's gonna hate me for putting this in there, but it's it is a pretty crucial step in terms of what's happening. Yeah.
There's probably some truth to it too. I mean, that is what big competition is generally like, right? You want to be the one that's beating the competitors. So there is some truth to that. I don't know what kind of anti-competition tactics are the ones being addressed here. I would be curious to see what's going on. Jim Ryan probably, though, up to no good in Japan with Sony over there.
All big corporations are probably doing some shady stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Jim Ryan especially
on us.
Yeah. But at least we're not going to spy on people what they're playing, if they're playing a beta or something, and then let's do a review on it. IGN, what are our opinions on this, guys? I wanted to get your guys' takes. There is a new review in progress that has been started for Diablo 4, which is a game that comes out in 2 months. And I was curious what your guys' thoughts are on this. I obviously I think this is really dumb. I don't understand the purpose of this. It is Diablo 4 review in progress, and it has beta impressions as the base of this review in progress. My problem with it is you're basing this on the beta, which is 2 months behind the launch of the game. And who's to say that this beta build is even, remotely close to what the full build actually is? This could have been a build from 4 to 6 months ago. This could be, and I'm sure it actually isn't that far off from the truth. So personally, I don't understand why it's labeled like this. I don't understand why they don't put this as like beta impressions. Why does it need to be a review in progress? It's not a game. Yo,
I can tell you.
Yeah.
SEO is your answer.
It's fair.
And it's sadly the slow demise of proper journalism on the internet.
Yeah.
It's entirely silly is your thing, is you're absolutely right, because it I mean, it might be close to the final build given how close it is, but like you're right, for it to be a review in progress when we had like one closed network test and then the open test, a cumulative 6 days maybe of playing this, it's kind of ridiculous to start off with a review in progress. Have your beta impressions, make a video about that. Start your review in progress when the game is actually out. I don't know why you have to label it this far in advance. That's just a little bit silly, and I'm with you.
Yeah. I think review in progresses in general are kind of silly most of the time. But like you said, Christian, like they want those clicks as soon as possible. And when they get the full review, then they could get even more clicks the second time.
Yeah.
Like Destiny has that, not problem, but often live service games in general, they do like the review in progress. And when they beat everything, then they review it for real. Which is like, it's like you're reviewing a game as you go. Like imagine if you did that for anything else. It's just weird. I think it's weird as well.
Agreed.
But especially for a beta.
Yes. Why, IGN? Anywho. We don't have to ask why about this, as I think you both are excited about it. We got a new look at Final Fantasy 16 with a brand new trailer, and I'm gonna let you guys just have a love party on this.
Love party. Whoa.
Why? You aren't excited for this? This is like, come on, man.
I just
inspired by Game of Thrones, the critically acclaimed writing of the game that I don't play, but everyone loves. Keep going. You're gonna say
it looks interesting from this trailer. I will see if I try it, because I've tried a couple Final Fantasies and it's never been for me. But I know a lot of them are different.
Did you try 7 remake?
I did. I did not. Sorry.
Okay.
I just choked on my water.
That's probably the one you would have liked the most.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to do that then.
This game has been described, by the way, as this has been floating around Twitter. So I'm not the source of this phrase. It's been described as Witcher May Cry, which sounds awesome. It sounds great for people who have never played a Final Fantasy game or who are looking to get back into Final Fantasy, who are used to kind of these third-person action-adventure type games, but who are looking for more of like the RPG side. Obviously, Witcher is fantastic. People love to have like Witcher kind of games as the RPG. That's what why that game was so good, is that the writing and the story was enthralling. It made it more accessible to jump into the Witcher world. Having Final Fantasy be like this level of writing is going to be awesome just for like us people who are into narratives. But then you have like the fast action gameplay of like a Devil May Cry. Suddenly you have like the perfect combination of like, wow, not only is the story good, it feels really good to play, and I'm not having to worry about like tactics with like turn-based combat, which I mean is great for people who are into that. Like Persona turn-based combat is really good, but for like a wider audience, they're going to be more into real-time action. So FF16, having just that be the base of the game sounds awesome. And then just to have this trailer just be nothing but vibes, like let's look at the cool art direction of this world for like just this one section, these little sections of the world is so cool. It made me so excited to jump in and be like, you know what? Maybe I am ready to get lost in this like giant world or some kind of giant world again. So it had me excited.
Hell yeah. Yeah, same here. I think whoever made up that Witcher / Devil May Cry thing is right on point. And as someone who says that Witcher 3 never really clicked for me, still hearing that excites me, because the reason that The Witcher 3 didn't click for me was because of the gameplay. So the Devil May Cry part of it being the gameplay is like, oh, perfect mesh of those two things. And with it having that Final Fantasy code on top of it is even better. But yeah, this trailer was really cool. There was like a certain moment where they're like panning out on like a wheat field, and there's like a castle in the distance. Like, I cannot wait to just explore that field. It looks barren, but I know there's some shit going down in there, and I want to explore it. And then there's a even more claustrophobic area where he's like in like a forest, and there's like shrubbery and foliage and trees falling down everywhere. It's like, this looks so cool. I can't wait to explore that. But yeah, Square Enix is like, they have such really great hits and then they miss constantly. Like Forspoken was a pretty good example, but it seems like they got a hit on their hands this time. I just wish they were more consistent, but it seems like this one's going to be a good one. So I'm very excited.
It's really pretty, dude. It's a really pretty art direction.
Can't wait.
You know what? I think you guys might have convinced me. We'll see. DMC meets Witcher. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dan, haven't you played DMC before? Aren't you?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Well, here's the funny part, though. Because my most experience with Devil May Cry series is Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry, which a lot of people do not like.
I like that game.
But I loved it. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I guess we will.
Yeah. Maybe if it was on Xbox, it could come to Game Pass, but can't do that, Sony. Hey. You know what else is cool? A cool drive into Lego 2K Drive, which has been announced, guys, coming May 19th. This game looks interesting. It looks like, a Lego game.
Yeah. The environments look cool.
Yeah.
This is probably the most interesting Lego game that I've seen just from afar. I don't think it's anything I'll play, but for those who are into, playing games, playing more kind of family style games, or if it's free with some kind of service and are interested in like checking it out, then by all means, because it's cool. You get to like customize your own car. And the vehicles themselves are transforming from aerial to like water and stuff. And I'm sure it plays good, but just not gonna be something that I'm gonna spend time in.
Yeah. The thing that strikes me from this trailer is I don't think by watching this trailer you could really know what this game exactly is. It kind of looks like it could be an open world game. It could be like a Mario Kart-esque game, but we don't really know from this trailer. But yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. One thing's for sure is you'll be driving stuff. Yeah. I was going to say the environments look really, really cool. Like there's a point where like there's a boat going off of a water slide sort of thing. It's like, wow, that looks really good. It's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always do good stuff with Lego. I feel like Lego IP. So, we'll see. Anyhow, speaking of racing, former Playground Games studio head Gavin Rayburn has formed a new studio, Enter Lighthouse Games. Rayburn and a team of world-class developers are currently working on an unannounced new IP, but shared no details as to what this is or what this will be, or if it's even in the racing genre. As the former executive producer on several dirt and grid games, however, and the studio head of Playground as it produced 5 Forza Horizon games, it's perhaps likely that Lighthouse is working on a new racing game. And of course, he goes on to say that he's joined by 30 former colleagues, including key founding members of Playground Games, which is very exciting for me because I think Playground Games has done a fantastic job since they were acquired by Microsoft. The Forza Horizon games, fantastic. I love those games. So, very interested.
This has nothing to do with Playground. When do we get another Burnout game? You know what I mean? Remember Burnout Paradise?
Yeah.
That was great.
EA doesn't know what to do with it.
EA doesn't have... Yeah, okay. We'll save that for later.
They don't... I knew what you were going to say already, but yeah. Interesting. I was stalling while I was opening all these tabs for this next story, which is...
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. First off, I want to proclaim here, and this is me only, like, don't take this as everybody saying this, but yeah. Fuck you if you do this, people. Something should be done about this, and this dude should be in jail. That's my initial statement here.
Why is this in here? Why are we talking about this?
Because here it is related, and I'll bring it back here.
Okay.
But I'm also not going to mention who it is because I don't want more attention pointed towards the person, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want him to get notoriety, I guess. Not like Podcast PXN is going to get notoriety. Right. But anyways. So this person was apparently streaming porn to his audience on Kick, which is a newer video game streaming website, which has ties to gambling as well, so it has its own issues as well. And that's kind of where I was bringing it back. Like, Twitch has TOS and everything else. And if you're going to invest in a new platform that does stuff like this, number one, you as the platform cannot allow people to do this. And number two, like, they have to have repercussions for doing this. The dude got a 24-hour ban, which, in my opinion, that's absurd. He knew what he was doing because I watched the clip. Obviously, it's blurred out. I don't need to see that. But he no, I lost it. He got a 24-hour ban for literally showing porn to little kids that are in his stream. And I know this because he goes through the whole, spiel of showing off the porn website and all the different videos and stuff. And he looks at his chat and he's like, man, you know what? How old's the chat? And the chat starts responding. People are saying like 12, 11, 10, like, it's ridiculous. Like, this should not be allowed, number one. And number two, how's this dude not in jail? He's literally showing porn to kids. Like, and I get it if it was an accident, like you pull it up for a second and then you close it. Like, that's an accident. He was purposely and knowingly doing this. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, well, Aiden Ross is an idiot. I don't know what else. Like, there are there's like a new thing like twice a week about this guy.
Yeah. That's fair. That is fair.
I thought you were going to talk about about the sister thing.
That was the other thing.
That was
He's
that,
done so much.
That's what.
Yeah, that's actually the next thing I was going to talk about. Yes. But yes, he also that was the first incident. The next incident, he paid on Kick, he paid a kid $10,000 to piss in a bowl and pour it on his sister and the other. Like, what the fuck? Showing him do this. Like, why? Like, that's
not the sister thing I was thinking about.
Me neither. I didn't know about this one.
Oh, there's a different one?
There's another sister thing. If you haven't heard of it, I'm not gonna you'll find it eventually.
No, bro, I want you to tell it. I want you to tell it.
What if it's another sister thing that we are thinking about different things, me and you, Christian, and there's like a fourth thing out there?
It's not. Nah.
But the thing that I'm thinking of, if I read the story correctly, is that he showed his sister's private parts on stream, and he like left it up there for like a long time. Like, he was enjoying it. It seemed he was just like looking at the screen, and then he closed it eventually. And it's like, oh, I don't know what his reaction is because I turned it off after him staring at his sister's private parts.
Jesus.
But yeah, this guy, I don't know what's there's obviously something wrong with him, but he's obviously doing it for the reaction, I think, and he's getting that. But I don't know. What I was going to ask earlier about the pornography on Kick, is that like even allowed, like, to show that sort of material, or is that against the rules in of itself?
On Kick,
on Kick, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but he got
like, was the ban because he showed porn, or was the ban because allegedly there was kids in his chat?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, that's
because how could they in his, I don't want to defend him, but in his defense, how can you prove that those kids are telling the truth? It could just be like a 24-year-old guy saying they're 12. But I just want to know if he was banned because of one or the other. I just think it'll be interesting. Needless to say, he's a jackass and he should be banned. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting for what the reason might have been. The official reason might have been for his ban, and I agree it should have been longer.
So what is the context? Why are we?
Yeah, why are we here, Dan?
The context is the platform Kick, and whether it's actually fucking beneficial to have this new platform that people
as competition.
Like, yeah, and content creators. There are content creators that are actually going to this platform, like acting like this platform is a good platform, and it's clearly not. Like, with the things that they're allowing and doing, and actually that brings me to the last statement about this is. So Hassan Abi, which I wasn't familiar with him, but apparently he's a Turkish Twitch streamer.
What do you mean you don't know Hassan?
I don't know who that is.
Reducing him to a Turkish Twitch streamer is insane. Okay, keep going.
I literally just looked at Wikipedia. Okay. That was the first thing that popped up. So I don't know who it is. Who is it? Please inform me.
No, just keep going.
Okay. He was on a video criticizing Trainwrecks, who is one of the, I believe, founders of Kick, and he was criticizing him for not banning Aiden Ross, and that's where he explains that they gave him a 24-hour ban, and he's like that a 24-hour ban for showing kids porn? That's ridiculous. Like, and these people that are in ownership of the Kick site are not taking ownership in what they're allowing on their platform, and that's kind of a big issue.
And probably because he's raking in a lot of cash for them. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how the split works, but that might be why it was only 24 hours.
Fair.
Oh my god! But yeah, I heard about Kick a little while ago, and I think it might have been because of this guy. How I learned about it, but maybe not to this degree. But there's some not so great content on Twitch too. Obviously, it's not pornography, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens every now and again. But just because this guy's a jerk, I don't think means that the platform itself houses a bunch of them. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't gone on Kick ever, and maybe it is just a cesspool of evil people like him. And if that's the case, then I would say then no, it's not worth it. But I think competition is good, especially in this space. But is Kick the answer? I maybe not.
Yeah, we are in dire need of more Twitch competitors because Twitch is not a very good company, but not really any actual contenders out there. I'll say this much. Is there porn on Twitch? Low key, kind of. Like what do you consider porn? I checked the ASMR tab once. It is wild in there. Like it is just like straight up looks like licking of microphones and like right. You could see like tongue and stuff. Like this is essentially porn to the right people.
Yeah,
true. Which I'm not.
I'm not saying I'm right
either.
people.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess we should start doing that. That'll boost our numbers. Lick the microphone.
It's possible. Oh my god. What a jerk.
Anywho, yeah. That's enough of Daniel's criticisms for the week.
I should have been in news of the week.
I guess we still have a couple more criticisms down the list here. But anywho, before we get to those, Multiverses Early Access is officially, shutting down on June 25th. And the full launch is coming in 2024. They're not giving refunds for paying players as well. I think this is an interesting situation because it's like they did charge for people to get into early access essentially, and obviously you get the full game when it launches, but I think it's a tricky question to ask consumers to pay for something and then take away that something, because in the past early access has meant you still have access to that thing, indefinitely. So why they are shutting this completely down and then bringing it back next year, I don't necessarily fully agree with that, with not giving the option to refund, because it doesn't feel right. I don't know.
That is fucking insane to me. Yeah. To buy something and then get it taken away and be like, oh, come back next year. Yeah. I'm sorry. No. What the hell?
Yeah.
Would this be like maybe like a... No, that's not... I don't think that... Would there be like a case for like some kind of class action lawsuit?
Maybe.
Full launch coming in 2024?
Yeah.
That's so long away.
Yeah.
And this goes down in June, you said?
Yes, it goes down in June.
Yeah, I wasn't even actually aware that it was in open beta. I thought the release actually had happened.
Same.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, like, oh, they're still working on it. I had no idea. So yeah, that is definitely kicking the butt.
And that's a totally great point, because I know at launch it was an open beta, but at this point I had just assumed that it came out.
I thought they went into it.
Yeah.
I thought I thought they started a season 1. Did they not, or was it something else? I might be mistaken on that, but I swear there was yeah, you're right. I thought there was a beta. I knew there was a beta.
Right.
I just thought they came out of the beta.
Same. Yeah.
Already, but apparently not.
Insane. But Christian is going insane with Metal Gear Solid news, including a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that is not officially, but speculatively a 2024 title. And there's still talk of Metal Gear Solid re-releases of some kind. E3 window was their marketing plan, last I heard, coming from Andy Robinson. So Christian, you excited?
Depending on who's doing it. The thing that was exciting to me is that it's not a remake of 1 or 2. because I think those games hold up really well on their own, and part of like what makes them so successful is that you're restricted to the camera movements and the positioning of it, because like they're entirely different games. I mean, RE2 remake is different. Like that's, I'm arguing against myself now, because that is like the gold standard now for remakes, in my opinion. But yeah, MGS1, MGS2 are sublime on their own regard. I just want them to be accessible, because there's no way to buy them legally right now unless you're buying older hardware, which I think is insane. I think the industry talks a lot about like game preservation, and we are so bad at it, dude. Yeah, I need this to be back in some kind of sellable capacity soon, because Konami promised it would be, and then months have gone by in silence. So if their plan was to announce something in summer, whatever it may be, I think it'd be exciting to have these be available to purchase again, because there's a lot of people wanting to jump into Metal Gear Solid who haven't played before.
Yep.
And if you announce a remake of 3 and then, re-release 1 and 2 in some kind of digital capacity, I think that would be huge.
Absolutely. I would absolutely jump on that if they re-release the original ones, because I have not played them myself, and I keep hearing people talk about them, Christian included, just how much they love them. I would love to experience that Kojima amazingness.
Well, you can experience Kojima amazingness when that eventually comes, maybe. But
Fingers crossed.
you cannot experience amazingness when you play The Last of Us Part 1 on PC right now. Apparently, Last of Us Part 1 is experiencing reports of crashes, and 60+% of reviews on Steam are mostly negative. It also takes an hour to build the shaders on the Steam Deck and runs at under 30 FPS, even on low, medium settings. So yeah, some stability issues there. Naughty Dog did put out a response that says, officially, The Last of Us Part 1 PC players, we've heard your concerns, and our team is actively investigating multiple issues you've reported. We will continue to update you, but our team is prioritizing updates and will address issues in upcoming patches. Ugh.
Yikes.
This is like almost as worse as the Gotham Knights PC port. Like I remember Digital Foundry talking about how long it took to build shaders in that game, and that was like about like an hour as well. And yeah, this is what there's reports that they kind of rushed it to get it in line with the season finale of TLU HBO season 1, which is a shame. If Gage were here, he'd talk about like how like disgusting it is that for a long time it seems that the companies have been kind of pushing the PC ports to the side and launching them in like dire states, and then being like, well, we'll fix it eventually. And it's like, well, why is that why is that kind of the status quo of how we're releasing games on that platform? Why aren't they just ready to go when you set that date and like have it in a serviceable state? It kind of boggles my mind, because PC players do deserve better. Do they? I don't know. They do deserve better.
They do deserve better, and I think it sucks that they rushed this out, and it's not like we're paying for it later. We're paying the full price now. We should get the full game now, and not wait until you fix it. But this image that Tom Warren has here with the description here, experience the emotional storytelling of the unforgettable characters in The Last of Us, winner of over 200 Game of the Year awards, and right below it is mostly negative. Yeah. It's like that's just a really funny image to me, but it's sad that it released this way, because The Last of Us is an amazing game, as the description says. So it sucks that they did not give it the love that it deserves and the players deserve as well. And
apparently this was done, a lot of the work was done at Naughty Dog internally. So what's interesting to me is they've had a really good track record with porting games from PlayStation to PC lately. With Horizon and God
Spider-Man.
of War and Spider-Man and all of that. So like, why not use those teams? Like they just purchased, was it Nixon or shoot, I forget what the name of that might be right, that might be wrong. That company that does PC work, like that was their sole purpose for acquiring them, was to bring more games to PC. So like, I don't know, maybe have them help out. Hopefully they can get it back to a good state here soon.
No, I hope they lose money.
Consequences.
Exact. Thank you. Yeah.
I just
John Wick
hope
reference.
for the people that bought it that they get it back to a good state. I don't know.
At least the people that bought it, hopefully they can get a
Refund.
refund.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At the
That's
very
fair.
least.
Yeah, because Steam is very good about refunds, so that's
They
fair.
are.
All right, guys. The last quick bite is another sad one that Ro shared with us right before the show started. EA announces a 6% workforce cut, around 800 people, labeling it as restructuring. Not good at all. Of course, coming on the back of Microsoft laying off, I believe, 10,000 people. And of course, that's all of Microsoft. But yeah, we've had a lot of game industry layoffs. Not good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's every year towards the end of the fiscal year or whatever tax season. You know what I mean? There's always some kind of reorg, laying off, and it sucks because the games industry does deserve better. But it keeps getting worse.
Keeps getting worse. Yeah.
Agreed. And I don't know. I feel like usually like it's at the top too. Like there's too many hands in the cookie jar at the top. Like you've got 17 managers and just let the people work,
I have more thoughts on this, but unfortunately, it revolves around my own work, and I will not be discussing this in a public forum.
No, that's fair. Yeah. But what we will discuss is running over some street meat. Assassin's Creed Mirage was apparently rumored to be delayed earlier in the week, but then Tom Henderson published an update saying that he spoke with multiple people, and Assassin's Creed Mirage still has an end of August deadline and Motorfest for September 2023. So he is inclined to believe the rumor is a well-educated guess based on Ubisoft's history of delays that Mirage is delayed to 2024. That's a data miner that said that. So I guess we'll see Mirage. We should see gameplay from at E3, as Tom says as well. I'm excited for Mirage, though.
I bet you are, Mr. Fantasy Drafter.
I also have the Assassin's Creed wall right over here with every freaking game statue right there. But, yeah, my fantasy critic as well.
Do you remember when I sent this tweet being like, I was so excited because delay. That's right. I told you, Dan. And then immediately it was like, I kept reading. I was like, oh, actually, it might still happen this year.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We'll see. I can always drop it, Let's run over to our other street meet. Resident Evil 4 Remake Separate Ways DLC for Ada Wong may be on the way due to a data miner that seemingly found some files that hint towards that. So that would be really awesome. I would love to see this.
That's how you get me to play.
Anything Ada Wong?
Yeah.
Have you played a Resident Evil game, bro?
I played a little bit of 2, a little bit of 4, and that's it.
So you've seen Ada Wong.
I've seen Ada Wong. I have definitely seen Ada Wong. Yeah.
Yeah. Lucky us.
I hope this is real.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Moving into the PXN news of the week, continuing on our Resident Evil 4 remake train, our impressions of Resident Evil 4 remake. Christian, have you started Resident Evil 4 remake? How are you?
No spoilers, okay? I won't say any spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah. So this weekend, you know me. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll buy this game. I don't know. And then this weekend, I was just sitting there. I was on Discord with my buddy, and we were just kind of talking about movies. And we got to RE4 remake, and he was just talking about it. And he was actually a little bit down on it, being like, "Yeah, this is just RE4 again. Like it's the same RE4 that I played." And for whatever reason, I was like, "Yeah," and I just bought it. I was like, I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right," and then I bought it anyway. So I've been playing. I'm halfway through chapter 4.
Oh,
still pretty early on. That should tell you about where I'm at. If you know, you know.
Yep.
And I'm conflicted. I think my friend is mostly right from what I've seen so far. It just feels like more RE4 again. And to be honest, I'm a person who likes RE2 remake way more than RE4.
Really?
I think for me, like good survival horror is like Metroidvania style environments and like constrained spaces, right? Juggling ammo, right? Your storage, and then having just a few enemies that like really test you with how ready you are to progress in that environment. And RE4 Remake, while still a great game, is much more action focused. That's why people love it so much. And it's still the same thing in RE4 Remake, where it's like, yeah, there's still tension there. It's still survival horror-y, but it's like they are throwing a ton of ammo at you and a ton of enemies. And that's why I was so down on RE4 original when I first played it. It's just, I don't know. I like a slower paced game. However, all that said, RE4 Remake, the vibes are there. It still looks gorgeous. It's way more fun to play, way more accessible than playing the original on now on PC or whatever. The only like kind of major complaint that I have with it so far is that somehow they've like made inventory a little bit worse than the original, where they're giving you almost too many stuff. They introduced crafting in this game, and while it's good, I feel like it could be better. Some of the craftable materials that you pick up, you can't stack. So if you pick up like large resources, it takes up like 3 blocks each resource in your inventory, and you got to get a lot of money to upgrade your cases. So that part has been a little bit of a bummer for me. Like they're throwing too many stuff at me that I can't fit in my case. So I can't use all the guns they're trying to sell me, which is a little bit of a bummer. But game still rocks.
I will say, in regards to the guns and cases, a pro tip, or at least I think it's a pro tip. I start with as many guns as I can in my case, and then you can send your guns to storage at any time, which is really cool. I think that's a great feature. So like you don't have to worry. Like if you have something you really want to pick up, you can just say, all right, send my submachine gun to the storage. But also,
yes, sir.
Your points about Metroidvania are totally spot on. I agree with those because many of the Metroidvania components of Resident Evil 4 Remake are, and probably the original, it's been so long since I played it, are optional. Like they're not, you don't have to do them to progress or get a certain mechanic. It's usually just like, collectibles and extra ammo and that kind of stuff. So that is a fair criticism completely. But like,
it's not even like criticism, it's just like preference, I think.
Yeah, fair. I have very much enjoyed it. Obviously, I've talked about Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game in the series, and like I feel like this remake really very much hits those same marks thus far. Obviously, I don't know if I want to compare it to Resident Evil 2 remake yet, because I want to kind of complete it before and see the whole picture before I go to that point. But yes, I agree with you. They are very different games. 4 remake kind of takes you, or 4 in general takes you to that next tier of actiony, before 5 kind of takes it full on action essentially. And yeah, I think I just got to spend a little more time with 4 remake and see how that compares to the original. But I absolutely love the original, and I'm very excited to compare 2 remake to 4 remake, because 2 remake, you're absolutely correct. That was a very good experience.
I want to know how you feel about like difficult. I'm playing on normal.
Yes.
And I played a normal one for the original RE4. Yeah. For whatever reason, this feels harder. Like I've had to use more like health stuff. It's like, wow.
Yes.
Dude, by the way, the pairing, although great, I love it. I've finally like gotten to a good rhythm where I'm like big encounters, I can now parry like kind of like as a reflex. Having knives be inventory, or what am I trying to say? With like durability,
breakable.
Like the more you use them, like breakable, yeah. That changes the game.
It does.
I don't know if I like it or not yet. It's like I always have to save at least one, so I can at least like parry some kinds of attacks. Yeah, pretty difficult game, but I'm enjoying it. Ada Wong's voice actress. I've seen clips of this. I don't know if I like this new voice actress for Ada.
Oh no,
you know what I mean?
I don't think I've gotten enough of her yet. I've gotten a little bit, but not like. I'm getting to the precipice of getting a lot more of her, so I'll see very soon, I guess. But yeah, the difficulty, you're totally spot on. It is a lot harder, a lot harder.
Yeah. Although Suni Legend did show off some cool like with the stuff you can do, like suplexing enemies and stuff. I mean, which is there, but yeah, and like when you nail or like master, I should say, like the combat in this game, it does feel pretty good. Like I did an encounter earlier when I was looking for a gas tank for something. Dan knows, and like I'm in this swampy area, and like I didn't lose a single bit of health just because I was like on it and I did some cool moves, and like Leon makes a comment. He's like, "Yeah, how about that?" I was like, "Oh, that does feel cool."
Ironically, I feel like the boss fights have been easier than the rest of the game. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've only done one, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Real quick.
Oh, sorry.
How about that lighting, man?
Yeah.
The lighting in this game is really good, especially the dark environments.
Yes, and when he turns his flashlight on,
yeah, it's great.
Corridors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot my only complaint with this game, and it's been a complaint I've had with every Resident Evil remake. Give us more customizable controls. I wanted to say Ubisoft, Capcom. I wanted to blame Ubisoft, Capcom, because it drives me insane. I'm a very input latency sensitive person, and I do not like the dead zone on the sticks. So like the dead zone is very like stiff, and I did finally find, settings that kind of helped with that. But like, let me turn the dead zone to 0, please. That's why I have a nice controller that doesn't have stick drift. I don't want the dead zone, please. But yeah.
I remember us talking about stiffness with aiming when we played the chainsaw demo. How are you feeling now on it? Because I think for the most part with like the smaller handheld weapons, I mean it's stiff, but I would attribute that to like the kind of style that Capcom wanted that game to feel like. But with the scoped weapons,
it feels good.
I'm the opposite. I'm like,
oh, you don't think
awful.
It feels good?
No, I do not think it feels good.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I haven't really used it enough. I use the rifle occasionally and mainly use like shotgun pistol combo. So maybe I just need to use it more. But
yeah, and I do shotgun pistol combo as well. That's like the go-to, but rifle every now and then. I will say maybe it has to do with the fact that when I play this game, I'm usually often edible. So that may contribute to my like poor aiming at night.
That's fair. Totally fair. All right. Well, the aiming, I don't know.
Right. The aiming, yeah.
Thank you.
The aiming.
Moving. Oh, one last thing. I think that it's partially also we play other FPS games. So like when I play Halo or you play COD or Fortnite, for instance, and then you go to Resident Evil 4 remake, it's obviously very different. So like you're like, man, I gotta adjust to this. So I will say when I spent multiple hours with RE4 remake, it did feel better as time went on.
What did Dead Space remake feel like when you're aiming those guns?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean that's like I'm even like Biohazard and what is the other first person Resident Evil game?
Resident Evil 7, right? Or 6?
Yeah, Village.
7.
Village and Biohazard. Those are the FPS ones, right? With Ethan.
Well, 7 and 8. Village, 7 and Village, both were for FPS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
With Ethan.
Oh,
right.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Like aiming in those like never felt particularly good. That still felt stiff as well. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this, to be honest. It's just something about this game just feels a bit weird, and I think you're right that I think tuning it in the settings or having a bit more freedom might make it a bit better. So I'm with you. So far it's good, but not. It's not entirely great.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
Hell yeah. All right. Sorry, Ro. I'm sure you don't have impressions from it, but
I don't. But it's cool to be an audience member for a while and just like listen to you guys go back and forth. It's like we got a good show here. Nice back and forth. I love it. So it's cool to listen to you guys talk about it, even if I don't have anything to say.
But
I'm finally playing a game that's out. That's like currently out. You know what I mean? I can engage.
Besides, you can engage.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah. He's not here.
Yeah. All right. Ubisoft has backed out of E3 2023, holding their own Ubisoft Forward event on June 12th, guys. And also, we got news shortly after this that Sega and Tencent have also pulled out of E3. And IGN also reports numerous individuals in publishing and PR hadn't heard of anyone who was planning to attend for sure, and also said there's a significant lack of communication from the ESA and Reed Pop. Not good.
What a nightmare, dude! Absolute nightmare of an event.
Gosh, so sad to see as well. Because like, I guess again, is E3 dead? That question keeps on popping up when we see these things, and it's so sad to see that how far E3 has fallen from what it once was. But with everything being digital now, and E3 really needs to give a reason to these publishers to be there, and I don't think they really have given a reason to these publishers that they need to be there when they could just do it themselves for way less, maybe for nothing, depending as well. So yeah, the fact that you have to pay for a booth for this, and as they should, E3 is like providing a space and an event, they should have to pay for it. But if they don't have to do that, then why would they? Yeah, so seeing everybody just backing out is sad, but makes sense.
That was crazy, dude. There's 0 major publishers at the. Is it even going to happen? Probably not,
No.
right?
At this point, there's no way, right?
Who would be there if,
Right.
if it were to happen?
And like, who's gonna pay for
Crypto
tickets?
companies.
I don't know.
Didn't people already buy tickets for this? Wasn't there? Did tickets go on sale?
I don't
I
know.
don't think they went on sale yet.
Okay,
don't
well,
think
thank
so.
God for that.
Yeah.
Let me see.
And if you see all these news stories, like, who's gonna want to buy anything? Like, they haven't announced anything that's worth buying a ticket for.
Listen, they have Sanrio characters there. I'm on my way. Yeah, no, this is crazy. I think once E3 was going the way it's been going, and Summer Game Fest popped up, I think that was like the final nails in the coffin, because Summer Games Fest has been getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, it's still not perfect. I think it's still a little bit of a mess. But being under the umbrella of it throughout summer long still allows him to be partnership like with Jeff Keighley. Like he can still organize it, keep calendar events. Like this is when stuff is happening. And there's still some organization to it, even though they're technically doing these kinds of things independently on their own time, their own schedule. So yeah, E3 having to be a constrained in-person event over like this weekend is probably just at this point obsolete and may never come back ever again.
Yeah.
Update on the tickets. I don't think there's tickets for like the public people to buy yet. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure like press and like people on the interwebs, journalists and all that kind of stuff, media people have gotten like their passes of like after applying for it. So people have gotten like their industry passes and stuff to media passes, I think they're called, to go. I think those are free though if you sign up for it. But it's interesting that those went out.
IGN sends like one person there.
Just in case, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, I probably might not even need a whole team for this one.
Mm.
God.
What are your thoughts
Okay.
on Jeff Keighley though, Christian?
Yeah, I have thought. I think, I mean, we all know Jeff Keighley is kind of excited, like, happy about this. He wants his show to be the best it can be, but he also wants to like be the show that everyone is tuning into. I find it a little weird how open he kind of is on Twitter about this. I mean, that's competition, right? I get it, but like on Kat Bailey's like IGN article that she tweeted about. When like she broke the news that Sega and Tencent were pulling out, and is E3 even going to happen anymore? Jeff comments, "Good reporting." Period. Which it just feels a little bit scummy, and like that was one thing. But then to like as their kind of Ubisoft is pulling out and Sega and Tencent, the Summer Games Fest account, which is like Jeff and his people, starts announcing that like they're in partnership with Ubisoft and I forget there's like one more tweet, I forget who it was. It's like, man, like he is like not even trying to hide it anymore, like just straight up being like, this is me now.
This is me. And is it even a partnership, or is it just like the Ubisoft for happening Summer Games Fest and you could restream it under the Summer Games Fest thing. Like, I know he has partnerships where it's like, this is a Summer Games Fest announcement. But there's things like, this is happening during Summer Games Fest, and it's just like somebody doing their own shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, it happened this month, so it's part of Summer Games Fest.
Well, here.
Yeah.
Ubisoft Forward will stream live on Monday, June 12th from Los Angeles as part of Summer Game Fest.
There you go. Okay.
And then Devolver Digital as part of Summer Game Fest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, sir. No, I was just gonna say, I feel like anything could be a part of Summer Games Fest, but if he's saying like it's a part of, then I guess he might have a stronger partnership than I thought. But yeah, sorry, Dan.
No, you're good. I was just gonna go back to what you said, Christian. I think that there was some kind of major falling out with the ESA and Jeff Keighley because the last E3 event that Jeff did, he had that like really cool like Q&A. I forget what it was called, E3 Coliseum maybe. It was like this big auditorium where you got devs on stage and like interviewed people and had Q&A and stuff. I almost wonder if they didn't want him doing that anymore, and he's like, all right, I'm out. I'm doing my own thing, because like he likes doing that kind of stuff, like creatively trying different things. Like, so I feel like to his credit, he was like getting pushback and there's like turmoil there. I'm betting that there's some kind of like crazy friction there that they just don't. Yeah, they don't like each other.
Insane, dude. Jeff Keighley ruined the game industry. I'm kidding. people are backing out before he started doing this.
Yeah, true. PlayStation, one of them made it, and Nintendo, 2/3.
Nintendo was first, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anywho, what else has Nintendo done, guys? Nintendo 3DS and Wii U have ended their eShop time, and guys, the time has run out. Rest in peace, eShops, Wii U, and 3DS. What games are you guys gonna miss from these shops?
Oh god, there's a lot of digital only ones, I should say, that are literally just lost forever. I think the article cites Dr. Luigi, Pumpkin. What the hell? Pokemon Rumble, Pumpkin, Pushmo, Pokemon Picross, and there's a couple of others like Gunman Clive. I think that was one that I really liked back in the day. And like there's a SteamWorld game, I think, or I don't know if it's a SteamWorld game or if it's by the same developers, but nonetheless, there's a lot of digital stuff that's being lost. Not to mention all the virtual console stuff, which is the thing that sucks the most to me. Is like all those retro games are just gone. Nintendo doesn't have a way for you to purchase them right now, unless, like we talked about the Metal Gear Solid story, you're buying an old console and buying these games at crazy prices. We're just and same with the Metal Gear Solid story. We're talking about the games preservation side of things and how we keep talking about it, but no one seems to have a solution for it yet. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how they would go about doing it, but I would love if like each console just had a store and the store just kept updating. And even if you get a new generation of consoles, it's still the same store. Like everything from the last thing is still there. And you could I don't know how that would work, but I feel like they could figure it out. Like the Nintendo eShop from the 3DS could work on the Switch, is what I'm saying. Like you could still buy those games on the Switch. I don't know why they can't do something like that, especially if it's such an old game. And they can do that because they have Game Boy games on the Switch right now. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's solutions that they're just not doing because of money. But yeah, Christian, I saw your hand raise.
And the thing is too, is like Nintendo games, they rarely will get cheaper. Yeah. In fact, the opposite. They get more expensive with time. Case in point, in the article, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD has soared in price thanks to the used game market, while the digital versions maintain their original price. Not anymore, since you can't buy it on. Yeah. Also, I think it closed earlier than they said it would too. So people just like people in my like Twitter Twitter feed weren't able to buy games that they were still planning on buying, and this just sucks, dude. Like. It's almost a little bit like disrespectful, a little bit, to be like, we're just going to get rid of all these games and you'll never be able to play them or access them ever again. Unless, of course, somebody has the ROM who has uploaded online and you can get via Dolphin. By the way, Dolphin emulator also available on Steam Deck. So if you're trying to play some Nintendo games.
There you go. May or not be the only way to do it soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bummer.
if they're not going to give official support to support the games, then you gotta, find a way to do it.
Yep.
Preservation. Rest in peace. 3DS and Wii U eShop.
I have a kind of a lovely 3DS little story.
Oh.
Just to say goodbye to it. One time for Thanksgiving, we went to my aunt's house. But none of my cousins were apparently going to go to this thing. So it was just me there. To my surprise, one cousin did end up showing, who I hadn't seen in years.
Oh.
And he came with a 3DS who he was buying for his girlfriend, but opened it for himself because he was bored at that event. And he was playing his 3DS, and we were taking turns playing Mario Kart. And he goes, "You know what? I've got money. You want to go out and go have a little a dinner, and then we can go Best Buy. I'm gonna buy another 3DS." So we go to Hometown Buffet. We bond over cigarettes in the parking lot. Go to Best Buy. He grabs another 3DS. We go back to my aunt's house, and we just play Mario Kart all night. He goes, "Yeah, I'll just tell my girlfriend that I need to test out to make sure they work or whatever. I'll keep one. I'll give her the other one." And we just played Mario Kart the entire night. It was very fun.
Oh, yeah. Mario Kart 7 is a banger. I love that game.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. And that came to 3DS only, right?
Yeah. 3DS, only.
Crazy.
Good night, 3DS.
But not good night to our fantasy draft check-in. The only game we have coming up shortly is Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure, which came out today. And unfortunately, right now, guys, wait.
Oh, got a review?
Oh, it updated. Yes. Heck yes. It has enough reviews. I literally looked at this earlier today and I was so distraught because I'm like, there's not enough reviews. But now there is, guys.
What did you get?
81 right now, critic score, which is all right. 11 points thus far for Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure on Open Critic. Guys, Jesus. I was worried though. It literally said before there wasn't even a page up for Open Critic, and I was like, oh no. But now there is.
I gotta be more active, man.
Dan is at 69 points right now. And for I think, and yeah, Christian in second place has, wait, let me just.
I'm in
Gage.
second?
No, Gage.
Gage is in second place, sorry. Gage.
Not for long.
You have 70
Yeah,
points, I'm sorry. But yeah, second place from 70 points is 24 points.
Wow.
And then there's me at 16 and Christian at 11, but only because you haven't gotten more games coming out yet. I think I have the least points.
Here's the thing, bro. Dan front loads all his games at the beginning of the year.
I do.
He will have to spend the entirety of almost the rest of the year filling it out.
True.
I still have Tears of the Kingdom on here. Know what I mean? I have Armored Core, Final Fantasy,
These are bangers,
Silk Song. These are bangers.
They're all delayed.
No. God damn it. My only saving grace is Spider-Man. I think everything else has a chance to not do good. But like you said, I have a lot of space left to fill it up.
Mm-hmm.
And there could
We're
be
still in
bangers.
this row.
There's still,
They could be bangers. They could be bangers.
You just never know.
Damn, Dan's got a good list too. I'll say his alter ego name. Croissant hits me up every week and says, "I think Dan's gonna win the fantasy draft again this year."
Hell yeah!
I'm telling you, he's going to. And I'm like, "Fuck you, man! Don't say this.
Let's go.
You're my
Croissant.
friend."
Well, he can have a smart opinion.
Well, let me know when he has one.
Oh wow, that's uncalled for.
Because it wasn't this one, is what I meant.
Okay.
Damn, I hope he doesn't listen to this episode.
I hope he does. Croissant, you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's fantasy draft check-in. We'll see what happens. What you got for me, Daniel? I've got Diablo 4 beta, played a bunch more Diablo 4 beta, pulled Gage in to play the Diablo 4 beta, got him addicted to the point where he maxed out his character in the beta to level 25. I got just to 20 because that's the level you had to hit to get special items for the full release. So I was like, I definitely want that. And then Gage got to 25. Then he went to play Diablo 3. That's how much I got him into it. But this game is so good. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Can't wait for the full launch in June, I believe. It's gonna be good. It's so good. It's so good. It literally makes everything about Diablo 3 that was already good even better. And I played Diablo 3 when it was good. It didn't launch well on PC because people were upset about the store and all kinds of other issues with microtransactions. This game seems to be fixing those issues, as microtransactions are cosmetic changes only. So yes, very excited. There's some cool stuff like world events, which is super cool. These massive bosses that a whole bunch of people show up to fight. Like, I'm talking 20 people show up to fight this boss. Is really cool. Like, it gives you elements of like a Destiny raid boss or something like that, except with a lot more people. So very excited for this game. Can't wait until this comes out. And of course, it's on my fantasy draft.
Of course it is. Of course it is. What game isn't at this point?
I hope it launches like with one major bug that, like, Dan Stapleton gives it a 3 out of 10 or whatever.
No, let's not talk about that. God, Ro, what you got for me?
Fortnite. I played a little bit more Fortnite, and I'm trying. You know what? I got another clip for you guys that I could share later. Maybe this becomes a thing. This, like, Rose play of the week. We could do it. Like, Christian could toss on his as well. We compare the two.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be great. But yeah, I got another dub finally. And yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really fun playing Fortnite. I have nothing new to add to that. It's been fun to dive back into it.
We gotta drop in, man. Lonely Labs. Yeah. Sweaty Shacks or whatever it's called. I don't know. I forget the names of these places. Mega City.
I don't know. Mega City.
I mean,
yeah.
we gotta drop in, dude. Because absolutely we'll get an easy crown, no doubt.
Dan, you in?
You're
Sure.
Dan, you're welcome as well.
I'm in. I've told you guys before. I played a ton of Fortnite back in the day. Of course, in build mode when you had to actually be good.
Always gotta bring it up.
But anyways, yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
The other thing that I've been into is the Sonic DLC. We talked about it last week releasing, but I finally got to dive into it after the show. And it's really good. It's a really good start to this DLC rollout. We still have 2 more to go this year, and I'm just happy that they are continuing to support it. But the DLC brought with it the cyberspace time trials and the boss rush. And the boss rush is actually really challenging, and it's where you fight like different types of enemies, and you have to beat them in a certain amount of time. And your goal is to get an S rank time, of course, in each battle. And then each battle leads up to the boss of that island. So you're fighting these enemies in like little stages. So you take down 3 of them, then you move on to the next one, and eventually the climax is the boss of that zone. And you go through all of them. And once you go through all of them and you get S rank on all of them, there's a extreme mode that is unlocked for the full game of Sonic Frontiers. So you can go back and play through the whole thing on extreme difficulty, where if you get hit once, you're dead. So I would love to play Sonic Frontiers like that. That sounds like a lot of fun, because people are complaining about hard mode on Sonic Frontiers being too easy, and Sega's like, all right, fine, fuck you. And then they gave us this extreme mode. So I'm excited to play that. But Cyber Rush, the cyberspace zones, which is just like classic Sonic levels, trying to get the best times on those is really fun too. So I'm glad they added this, gave the game another life, I guess you could say.
Boost.
Another boost. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm having a blast with it. And I'm glad I can return to it, because I really enjoyed playing it when it came out, and I'm glad there's more stuff to do.
Nice.
So you can go back and play on extreme mode and then climax again.
Yes, exactly.
I looked at Christian when you said that, and he started laughing. I was like, all right.
Oh my god,
Christian, what you got for me? Let me guess, Fortnite.
Funny you mentioned Diablo, because I went in and I saw the beta was still going, and I was like, you know what? Let me download this. So I downloaded it, and I never touched it.
What?
I never touched it. I was too busy on Sunday doing my own thing, going to the coffee shop, finishing my book, going on a little 5K. Sundays are usually my 5K or my 10Ks. and didn't even touch Diablo. Yeah, so I watched the video on YouTube, and I was like, hey, this looks like pretty cool. I'll never know because I won't drop money on this game, so I kind of missed my opportunity to try it out. So, whoopsie.
Man.
Yes, Daniel is right. I am continuing to play Fortnite. No surprise there. I love it. Whatever. Make your little jokes. I'm a Fortnite guy now. And then RE4 remake. But we already talked about that, so.
Indeed, we did. All right. Into the topic of the show, guys. Here we go. Nintendo has shown off Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom with some deep dive looks at the gameplay, and guys, it looks good. It looks good. I guess I'll go over. Should I go over all the new abilities, and then you guys want to talk about those, or do you? What do you? Or
Let me start with something here that I wanted.
Sure.
Let me start with something here that I want to mention.
Sure.
I think obviously like the big kind of discussion about this game that's been happening with like people on Twitter and YouTube comments is like, is this game worth $70? It's the first game that Nintendo is pricing at like $10 more expensive than like previous games, and what is essentially quote unquote the same map. It's the same Hyrule that we know from Breath of the Wild. There's obviously major differences that we're going to talk about in the show. And I will be honest, when this first started and I was seeing like places that I would like say I identify, like that horse corral, being almost a little bit like not disappointed, but being like, man, is this going to live up to sequel expectations with it being essentially the Hyrule that I'm familiar with? Like exploration is key in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Am I going to feel that same kind of love and like curiosity that I felt with like Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild, where I'm like discovering new things when it's a map that I've already kind of am somewhat familiar with? And then they looked up and then they introduced the new stuff, and I was like, you know what? I am entirely back in. They got me.
It's like two maps. It's like you got an updated Hyrule, and then you got a whole new space to explore above Hyrule, which I think is awesome. And I'm excited to see, even though, like you said, it seems like it's the same map with a little bit of changes. Excited to see what those changes are, because my favorite thing about Breath of the Wild was finding those little secrets, like the prison, like in a cave, or there's like this maze island. I remember exploring one day. I was like, what the hell is this? So I'm excited to see if those things are still there, and if they've changed a little bit, and potentially new secrets as well.
And like we haven't even seen shrines yet, so like
yeah, are those even there? Or
right?
Yeah.
Well, that I don't care about. Whatever. I'm the guy that wanted dungeons back in this game. I miss dungeons.
Even better.
Yeah. Remember, I just want to say, remember Eventide Island in Breath of the Wild?
Yes,
that was cool.
They're really cool. God. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Dan. I kind of hijacked the beginning. A little bit.
No, you're
like
fine.
You don't like shrines.
I'm just upset. Yeah, that you don't like shrines. I love the shrines. I loved certain shrines. I didn't like the combat shrines as much. Like the combat shrines, I was like, okay, whatever. But the puzzle shrines, oh, I love those. And like that would be a cool compromise if they had like a bunch of new cool puzzle shrines, and then we got dungeons also. That would be awesome. Like that would. Oof.
I think we'll get dungeons, and I don't know. That might be okay. Like in the first game? Like we're like going after the Calamity Beasts or whatever.
Yeah,
is that what they were called?
I think so.
And those were too shrine-like for my taste, and honestly, they were sometimes even like simpler than some of the shrines that we did in the overworld. So that was like my major, my only kind of disappointment with Breath of the Wild, and I'm curious to see what this will be like in Tears of the Kingdom. So you're right there. What will that look like? If shrines are back, that's totally fine. I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, you're back on board. But some of these abilities, guys. Do you want me to talk about all of them, or just go one by one?
Go one by one.
Okay, one by one. The first ability we got to look at is the recall ability, which allows you to rewind an object's movement, which they showed off essentially a platform coming down from one of the islands on the top, and Link climbs up to get to the top, get on this platform, and then uses the recall ability on the platform, which sends him up into the sky to get to the sky area. So, yeah.
No loading. On the Switch,
Yeah.
Seamless transition from land to sky and vice versa. Very cool.
Wow.
Impressive. And the whole world turns black and white. I thought that was sick.
And it
Monochrome.
like this is literally double the landscape. Not double the landscape because it's not all a massive island, but like it's a lot more space up there. Like they showed off a bunch of islands. Ugh, it looks really cool.
It was just a tease. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, go for
it. It was just a tease because like they look over at some islands and some of them like I did get that same feeling that I was like nervous about that I just mentioned earlier. Like, am I going to find that same like sense of curiosity? And like, there's a moment in the beginning when like you're seeing the dragon. We've known dragons from Breath of the Wild, but you see like an island that has like a storm cloud surrounding it, and immediately I was like, "What's over there? I want to go over there." And they cut. It's like, oh man, no, this feeling is going to be back 1,000%. Seeing something in the distance and being like, I can get there. I want to go there.
What I was going to say was about the rewind ability. It's going to be cool to see what people do with all of these abilities, but I just imagine like you're fighting a boss and they like are throwing projectiles at you and you have to or you could, maybe you don't have to. It's not like a thing that you have to do, but imagine like rewinding like whatever's coming at you and it hits the boss. Like there's going to be so many cool things that people might be able to do with the abilities, and I'm really excited to test them out.
That is very cool. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
They really doubled down on like experimentation and freedom in this game that Dan will get into in a second.
Yes. Before I get into the next ability, also when Link jumps off the island and the fact that you can literally just go straight down and dive into the water is just insane. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Don't try that in real life. You'll die.
You will, yes.
You will shatter into thousands of pieces.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. The next ability we got to look at, the fuse ability, which allows you to stick objects together for some cool combos. They showed off a stick that Link picked up in the world and then attached, which this is kind of funny. He attaches a massive boulder to it and the boulder gets smaller, but it's like, it's fine. It's a video game. But like, yeah, it's really cool. You can attach it and it becomes a hammer like they were describing.
Yeah, and then you attached a spear, one of those like those farm forks to an already long stick. Pitchfork, yeah, thank you. Just to make like some really long stick. Like and then he like puts it on his back and like it's just massive.
Huge.
It's like the size of 3 links just on his back.
There was another really cool thing that he did with his shield. I think he put a pot on the front of it or something. I don't know what it was.
Mushroom.
Yeah, and then he used it to block, and then the enemy struck his shield and like it made like a little smoke screen for him. It's like this is going to be so much fun to combine these sort of things. It looks goofy, like you said. It's like just a mushroom attached to a shield. I assume that like there's going to be more powerful weapons that you can combine with even more powerful weapons, and it doesn't look like 2 weird swords stuck together, and it actually becomes a really cool weapon. But even these goofy ones seem like they're going to be fun.
I was so small brained with this stuff and I was already getting mind blown. So then when like when they go over like the eyeball, what was like normally like in Breath of the Wild just like essentially just junk in my inventory, now turns my arrows into a like not heat seeking but like target seeking arrow, missile, whatever, what have you. It's like wow. There's going to be so much possibilities for just testing random combinations out.
And unlike Breath of the Wild, it seems like every single component that you pick up is going to have a purpose in this game, which is really cool as well.
You know,
insane, dude.
I think about the what he attached to his shield just now. You know how you could ride your shield in Breath of the Wild? How you could like go down a hill? Like I wonder if you could like make a boost. Like a jet, like a hoverboard or something. Like that would be so cool. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So excited.
Put that little like ice bokoblin or ice jelly on it, and suddenly you're like
slipping
going down like a waterfall or like a river.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh damn.
That would be cool.
Be like a little boat or something out of it, shatter your shield. That'd be cool.
Speaking of boats.
Speaking of those boats and vehicles, Ultra Hand is the next new ability where you can attach items in the world together. So they showed the example of 3 logs that were next to each other, and you attach them together to become a boat. And then you also found fans in the world that you attach to the logs, and it becomes a boat that you can use to go across the river.
Yep. Cam final mix in the chat says Legend of Zelda, nuts and bolts. Which is exactly
Which is right up
Yes.
Dan's alley. Like Dan was saying nuts and bolts for like ever. Like, for whatever reason, you love nuts and bolts.
I love that the vehicle creation. That's such a cool tool to have. Like it opens the sandbox immensely because think of all the things you can create with it. Like it's really cool. And the thing that Link was like floating on, that's really cool as well.
I'm gonna out myself again as another small brain person. I'm thinking so small with these kinds of abilities that I'm generally excited, not for what I can do, but for what I see others do on Twitter and post about. Because Breath of the Wild people are freaks on their own. Like they are like changing that game in ways I never even thought about. So what they're gonna be able to do in Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be beyond me, and I'm very excited for it.
Just this week, I saw somebody do like a chariot that flew in the sky because they attached it to like one of those guardians. I was like, how does this even work? I can't even understand. I know you're doing it because it's doing it right now, but how did you get this to work? Because I can't even think about what you had to do to make this happen. That people are still making cool stuff like that in Breath of the Wild, like a freaking, what is it, 5-year-old game now? It's going to be crazy what they do with it. Probably longer.
17?
17,
yeah.
Just under 6 years, I guess. When did that come out?
Yeah.
So yeah, people are going to get wild with these power ups for sure.
God, and like in nuts and bolts where you could make vehicles like multi-terrain, so like you can make a vehicle that has helicopter things to take it off like a helicopter, but you can also put wheels on it to drive it. Like I'm just thinking about doing that in I almost said Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, but like, oh, that sounds so cool. So excited.
And back to your point about bosses, there's probably some cool stuff where you'll have to do these kinds of machinations to fight or reach whatever like boss you're fighting. One in the sky, you have to build some kind of elaborate contraption. Dude, I'm just happy contraptions are back. I once tweeted it. I put this in my drafts once. I was like, we just need more people making like just contraptions and doohickeys and whatnot. And we're back, baby.
Oh yeah. Like, and you even mentioned it before, like this is literally like Nintendo was sitting in a room like, what crazy ideas could we come up with the sequel? And then they did it. Really cool.
Yeah, because I think we talked about when we saw like some of the trailers that like most of the iteration that's going to happen in Tears of the Kingdom is going to be entirely like gameplay side and not so much, the rest of it. Like when we knew like it was probably going to be like using the same assets, like all that iteration is going to be entirely on how we can change and improve the gameplay. And honestly, I was more than surprised at what we saw. And this is like what, a 12-minute video?
Yeah.
There's so much we haven't even seen.
I was gonna. I don't know if Cameron's still here, but if I'm not mistaken, Christian might be able to remind. He wasn't a huge fan of Breath of the Wild, the original one, right? Or am I mistaken?
Cameron, no.
So that's what I'm wondering. Like, is this enough? And it doesn't need to be. It's the biggest game of all time. No offense, but it's interesting to see if this is enough to get those people, which I think are few, going to get them to pick this up. Because of the lack of iteration being just the gameplay and not anything else. Like, is it enough for those people? I
would guess probably not, because I think a lot of people's criticisms or frustrations with Breath of the Wild for people who didn't like it was a big one is like weapon durability. You see that thrown out a lot, and like this is like this is entirely like doubling down on that, which I think I'm excited about. I think that like introduces like a new layer of gameplay in this open world that I think is kind of fun. The other thing I think that people complain about or critique is exploration not being as rewarding. Like there's some credit to that. Like you'll see like this very ominous or interesting looking landscape, and you'll spend 20 minutes climbing this mountain to get there, and it's like there's either nothing there or like some small like little puzzle, and you get like your little seed and you move on. Like, is that enough of a rewarding system of like that gameplay loop to keep you going? Tears of the Kingdom, I doubt it's going to be anything like that much better than we got in Breath of the Wild. It will probably be pretty similar. So if you are not huge in Breath of the Wild, you might not be huge into Tears of the Kingdom, would be my guess.
I will say in terms of the weapons breaking though, like the fusibility, I feel like changes that a little bit, because like what kinds of things could they get you to attach to weapons in order to improve the breakability? Like maybe there's like
Mm.
items that you can attach and it'll double the amount of strength that it has, or I don't know.
Definitely.
Thoughts.
No. For me, I thought weapon durability would kept the game interesting.
Yeah.
Where like when something's low, I first of all I thought it was satisfying when you throw it and like, it breaks and there's like that small moment of like slow mo. I don't know, like where it just stops for a quick second. You know what I mean? Like just to feel that impact. That's just cool. That's just like a tactile thing that I like. But it just made me be more aware of what I was holding in my inventory and to be aware of like how I was playing and to keep me changing that throughout the game. Because otherwise, I'd probably be just using the same weapon.
True.
For what, 100 hours? Is that exciting? Probably not. So
fair. Christian, you mentioned a little bit ago about getting to certain bosses. Well, this final ability allows you to get to some bosses if they're on top of a hill, maybe, you know? You walk in a cave, as long as there's a ceiling above you, you can use this ability called Ascend, where you can float up through the ceiling into the ground above. What? That looks really cool. And that'll save so much climbing.
I like the climbing.
I do too.
However, seeing Link go inside the cave and then go like suddenly they're on top of the mountain, and then in the demonstration they talked about like you can do this with like literally all ceilings, even if you're at the bottom, you can go to the top of the mountain. That is insane to me. How is the Switch even rendering this? I don't know.
God, it's gonna sound very loud, I'm sure. I like the climbing too. I'm glad it's not like replacing it. It's a shortcut for if there is a cave and if there is a ceiling. But if you're like on the wrong side of a mountain, you still have to climb over it. So I'm glad it's not like completely removing that aspect to it, because it is fun to like gauge your stamina and make sure you're going to get to the top of this hill before you freaking fall to the bottom of it. And it adds to exploration and stuff like that too. But I think it's a really cool ability, and like you said, Daniel, it'll save a lot of time if you do have the opportunity to just like the inside of a cave. Like, you know what? I want to see the top of this cave. Shoot right up.
God, I'm so excited, dude. So excited.
A lot of quality changes here. And they did also announce that Tears of the Kingdom has gone gold. So that's kind of
that one pissed me off.
Oh,
this is where I'm like, I'm again too dumb to understand what. I mean, no, I get it. They have OLED switches to manufacture. They have to make the actual copies of the game. They have to ship them out because I'm sure it's going to sell a lot. So it's a process. But like just hearing that at the beginning, being like, we're still 2 months away, but the game is done. It's like, I kind of want it now. Sell it digitally. Let me have it now. But I get it.
Working on that day one patch, you know? The inevitable day
No, they
one
don't do
patch.
that, man. That game is going to be ready to go.
You don't think they'll have a day one patch?
Nintendo doesn't do that.
Man, you want to do a bet on this? I feel like we should do a bet. What kind of bet can we do?
Whatever you want, dude. I'll buy you popcorn at the at something.
Okay.
At the next movie.
All
I'll buy
right.
you snacks at the next movie we go see together.
Okay, that's
Or the first movie we see together, since we've never seen one together.
Yeah, I guess the Game Awards don't count as a movie. That just counts as
No.
a show that Jeff Keighley, our senpai.
And there you go. Winner buys movie theater snacks.
Okay, deal. Day one patch incoming.
Okay. Somebody write this down. I'll write it down.
All right. I'll forget. Yeah. I'll probably forget, and then I'll say, I never said that. And then you can play back the audio clip of me saying it. But yeah, as you alluded to, Christian, there is a special edition OLED Switch that they are producing for Tears of the Kingdom. It looks pretty good, actually. I'm not going to lie. I looked at it for a few minutes, and I was like, man, do I want to upgrade? But then I was like, no, I'm all right.
No. It's the same thing. Performance-wise, you're not getting anything better. It's fine.
Exactly.
And like, I'm the kind of person that prefers playing their Switch docked to handheld. So this will do nothing for me. For Ro, I don't know. This man loves his handheld Switch.
I do.
Me too.
I do. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get it, but I do love my handheld Switch. But this it is a pretty console. So if anybody doesn't have one or has the means to upgrade, I'm sure there's going to be a reason to, because it's pretty. I just wish they sold these things separately. I know that it doesn't make sense business-wise, but I just wish they sold like the controllers and the dock separately. I would totally get one of these.
Yeah.
Secondhand market.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, true.
bro, we played this the right way. Handheld.
Thank
Breath of the Wild, 100% handheld. 100%.
I did play most of it handheld too. Yeah.
I played a
I
100.
tried, man.
100% handheld.
My hand starts to cramp. You know what I mean? I can't hold it in
Ah.
that. Like, I got to sit back on this couch and
So actually,
let my gummy kick in.
I laid in my bed literally almost the whole time I played that game. Like, I just laid in my bed and played. Loved it.
You're a fucking menace, dude.
Loved it. And it was when I was actually job searching, because that was shortly after I graduated, I guess. Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom coming out middle of May, a week after Redfall. Is there any game coming out after or on the same day of it that is going to get eaten up by Zelda?
There is a game that's coming out the same day. I'm trying to remember what game it is though. God, it was I listened. I think it's the expansion for Forspoken actually, not a game then, but I think it's the Forspoken expansion. I think.
Here we go. I'll just. I'm on Game Informer's. Here we go. May 12th. I'm just seeing Amnesia, The Bunker, a Lego 2K Drive. And here we go. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings Gollum, May 25th.
Oh, that's what it was probably.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Suicide Squad.
That's the old date.
Yeah, it got delayed now.
Yeah. Well, not officially yet, right?
Oh, true. Excellent.
Yeah.
And I was wrong
point
about
being-
Forspoken.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Go ahead.
May 26th was the release date for the DLC. But yeah.
Point being, May is going to be entirely Zelda month online.
Yeah, everybody
you
else
will
is
see.
doomed. Yeah.
Mhm.
God.
Get out of the way. At least until Diablo comes out, and then Dan will be switching over.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of games though. I don't know. Maybe I won't be switching over because Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be a massive game. Maybe I'm still playing that a month later.
I'm going to have to binge it because I have visiting California like the week after that game comes out. So I have like 7 days. I mean, I can take my Switch with me, obviously. But you know me, I prefer to play docked. I love docking,
Such a menace.
so they say.
Of course, you guys called out Cam in the Twitch chat. I'll call out Zach Wynn, says, "Sup, fellas, good pod." Thanks, Zach. Coworker.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I said I like docking.
Also, Link's design.
Yeah.
So cool with the long hair and
Yeah.
the arm. Looks so cool.
Yes.
I love it.
This should be my Halloween costume.
Hell yeah.
You got to make it stylized though, in that art style. Like it's got to match.
How am I supposed to look cell shaded?
Have you seen?
I can't do that.
There's
There's
actually
some crazy cosplayers out there that
Yeah.
have pulled it off
For real?
somehow. Yeah. At
There's
least
some
th-
Borderlands.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Borderlands, there's some Telltale cosplayers that make it look like they are from the game rendered in real life. It's crazy. I don't know how they did it.
I mean,
This might be
You know,
harder though.
Yeah. I need to know what happened with Link's arm.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out.
yeah.
God.
That is.
And is
wild.
Zelda okay? She all right?
She's
took
probably dead.
She took
Oh my
off his arm
God.
with her bare hands.
Jesus. Yeah, I've heard that theory that Zelda might be deceased. I think that'd be really cool, but also sad.
Do you remember in Breath of the Wild when you have that moment, like you wake up in your cryogenic sleep and you like start walking out of the cave, and then it teaches you how to climb the rock, which is essentially the core gameplay mechanic for the entire game. You learn everything right there, and you walk out of this cave, and the light shines, and suddenly you can see like this massive kind of environment right in front of you, and the game lets go, whatever, and it, like you see Link moving off. You can't control him, and it pans out, and it says Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and you get that title splash. And how cool that was! Are we guessing here that like we were gonna wake up in the sky, and then we have that moment where we have to jump off, and then like as Link is falling, you just see all of Hyrule, and then
Oh
boom,
my
you
God.
see Tears
That
of the
is so
Kingdom.
cool.
God, I need to get high and play this.
Mm.
We need a good title drop.
Mhm,
Definitely.
mhm.
And
I hope it's exactly that.
even better if you're playing that sequence while jumping out of an airplane, playing in handheld mode.
Handheld mode.
An airplane.
Yeah,
airplanes now.
because you'll be falling while playing it, falling in the game.
This is just like Sonic Adventure 2.
Escape from the Hyrule.
Nice. Nice.
Guys. Well,
Those are all my thoughts.
be prepared. Tears of the Kingdom. It's gonna be a banger. Not too much of a banger though, because it's Christian's fantasy.
It's going to be the first 100 out of 100 on
Wow!
OpenCritic.
Holy shit!
No one will complain about this game.
Do you want to
at
make a
all.
bet about that?
They'll say, you know
Everyone
what?
will
It's
love it.
too good, actually.
Oh my god! Wow! You heard it here first, Christian Macias. All right. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Christian. Gage, we'll see you next week. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Bye. I love you.